everybody. This is Pawn Pals Podcast, Episode 2. I am here right now, Iron Duck, and here with Honkflap.
Hey, hi, hello, peoples.
And the Big Mike.
Hello, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. It's me, Big Mike.
Okay, so this time, they have decided to make the biggest mistake he ever could and let me try to take a lead on this episode. There are no takesy backsies. And we're going to talk about some Minecraft stuff, mainly just from a lot of reminiscing. But we'll try to keep this in an orderly fashion. So it's Minecraft. There's a... Oh god, it's what we were saying earlier, 15 years old, was it?
Yep, 15 years.
Oh yeah, so yeah, this game is, I think it was recently too, I think this year was 15 years. But,
yes, it was.
So this game has been very old, originally started on just a PC game, built on Java. So, now how me and Honkflap came across this is we actually have a real life friend who popped over to the house one day and was like, hey, let me see your Xbox remote for a minute. Like, okay, sure, bro, here you go. And he just buys Minecraft for both of us. It's like, you guys are going to love this game. It's so, you could do anything you want in this game. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, really, really? He's like, yes, you can. Like, alright, I'm sure I'm going to find someone to wage a whole war with. No, you can't do that. Alright, fine. So you're already ruining it for me. But anyways, he got it for us. We started playing it, and we sucked at it at first. It was terrible. I remember like trying the first we probably spent the first 4 hours playing that game, and we were dead stuck because like the progression is you gotta punch a tree to get wood. You make wood tools. You use wood tools to get stone. For stone tools and such. The downside is I remember we were trying to figure this out, and you would look on your little crafting table and it would say, oh, you need cobblestone, and I'm running all over the place. I'm not finding cobblestone. All I can find is dirt and stone because this is like, God, the game has been out only for a year or two before it became as have all the content it does now. I remember hitting up our friend. I was like, hey, I can't figure this out. Where do I get cobblestone? He's like, you get it from stone. And I was like, I don't need stone, dude. I need cobblestone.
So no. For reference there, Mike, when you break a piece of stone, it becomes cobblestone.
Yeah.
We had a chest full of it. We just didn't know we did.
I just want to point out that earlier Duck said get wood. So make of that what you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, nowhere in this game is it going to tell you, hey, when you mine stone, it becomes cobblestone. It's something you just kind of have to fumble about and kind of find on your own. But anyways, we get stone tools. We start figuring out and trying to build things out, trying to do the classic dirt hut and such that is such a meme now. But yeah, that is it was a nice fun time, and throughout the years it has got so much stuff put onto it. Holy crap. Because we were playing it back when like it first got out on Xbox. Back when like today, let's see, there's oak wood, birch wood, oak, birch, dark oak, mangrove, spruce. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like I'm forgetting one. Acacia.
And the swamp trees.
No, I said mangrove.
Oh, you said mangrove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, acacia. And then there's the pale wood that came out in the recent update.
And for reference, I just checked. Minecraft came out on the Xbox in 2012. May 9th, to be exact.
But yeah, see, we were playing it back when you only could get wood. Because there was no point calling it oak wood because there was only the one type of wood. So yeah, we were playing Minecraft back when it had a tutorial. Back when there wasn't so much stuff.
A tutorial world, yeah.
Yeah, back when there wasn't so much stuff, they could actually explain it to you. They could actually explain to you.
Yeah,
which I feel bad now saying how terrible we were with the cobblestone situation.
Yeah, you can actually look up old videos of people playing Minecraft Xbox 360 edition and see the tutorial worlds. It's so weird to see those again.
Oh yeah, but man, that was that was a whole freaking thing back then. And then there was all sorts of updates that they started putting out. I cannot remember what was the first major content update. God, that was so long.
I don't know. I can look it up in a second, but I would like to point out that back then, as now, there were difficulty settings: peaceful, normal, and hard. And now, finally, just like this year, the Bedrock edition, which is what you play on consoles, well, on any device actually. You can play it on a PC or a tablet or a cell phone or whatever, right? It now has hardcore as well. But back then, it was the three: peaceful, normal, and hard. And Ducky would always want me to play with him, and I was such a big chicken, I would only play if he set it to peaceful. Because I was just terrified by the zombies and the skeletons and stuff. Not like they were scary, because they're like little 16-bit things, right? But I mean, I just got massacred every night by those things. It was crazy how bad I was at it. I was so bad.
Oh yeah, but we got better, and now the tables have turned. You're a lot more. I'm a lot more reserved in my playing than you are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is.
Oh yeah. But it's because I follow my ovaries. You should tell Mike the story about my ovaries in Minecraft.
Yes, I will do that. I do not know what kind of fucking black magic this woman has going on, but she can get lost in a hallway, but for some reason she has some insane level of intuition on where some extremely rare stuff is in this game. We will be running around in a cave, and she'll just dart off into a direction, and I'm like, "What are you doing? We're going this way. There's nothing lighting up the cave down there. You're gonna run into an army of mobs." She's like, "No, my ovaries are telling me to go this way. I think there's diamonds down here." Like, what are you? Okay, fine. I have to now give chase and light up things. Like, I have to throw down torches because how the mobs work in this game. Also, actually, for all the people listening, Mike has almost no knowledge of this game other than it actually exists. So that's why I like going through and explaining all the bare functions of it and such. But anyways, anytime there's a space that's even a small space, if it's dark, monsters, quote unquote mobs, will spawn into it. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm having to light up the way. Is you have to make a bunch of torches and just throw them down to make sure stuff doesn't spawn behind you or something like that. So she'll dart off, and I'm like, oh crap, here we go. Let me make me a stack of torches and just start running and just start throwing torches down. And every freaking time, she will, within 5 minutes, she'll be like, I found him. just, all right, found him. How? We've been in here for 2 hours. You've been following me for 2 hours. I ain't found the first freaking one. And you're just like, you know what? No. I can smell it in the non-air of this world. And just dart off in there. And yeah, I'll be following her, putting down torches, fighting off mobs, and we'll turn a corner, and I can like just see them just over there, just some of that blue bubble gum, as some of the YouTubers say, just sitting in the walls waiting for us. And that's not counting all the times we'll go like in the Nether, and she'll be like, I think the Nether Fortress is over here. Ugh. But yes, anyways. So yeah, that was our first like little bit of playing it, was essentially this whole us just trying to figure out the bare functions of it and failing so hard. Well, I wonder, was Redstone involved in the like on day one, like in the old days of Minecraft, or was that like added in later?
I think it was there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
I want to say it was. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Just to explain, Redstone, Mike, is this thing where it's a type of like mineral you can mine, and its function is, if you've seen like any like of the crazy things someone can build out of like machines people build in Minecraft, it's all going to be powered by redstone. Redstone's like the power source of stuff. Like if you want to make any kind of weird contraptions, redstone is going to be a huge proponent of this.
So, according to the Minecraft wiki, Redstone came out July 2010 in Secret Friday update number 3, along with buttons, levers, pressure plates, and doors. So, yeah, we would have had a world with redstone in it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that was freaking redstone. And redstone is such, like, all the mechanics of redstone are so complicated and such. It's like insane. And from what I understand, there's like the 2 versions of Minecraft. There's the Java edition, which you can only play like on PC, which was like the OG original form of Minecraft. And then there's Bedrock edition, which is what was on Xbox back when it first decided to get put on the consoles. And like literally, if you're playing Minecraft on anything that's not a PC, you're playing Bedrock essentially. But they're similar in a lot of ways, but they're also like starkly different in other ways. And apparently redstone mechanics are wildly different between Java and Bedrock, and I just can't for the life of me even try to comprehend how that happened. I just can't. Like I have probably, in all the years we've played Minecraft, I have probably over 10 times tried to just sit down and try to understand how redstone works, and I just can't. I'm down to like, oh, I want to do one of these automatic farm things. I can't just sit. I don't understand redstone enough to actually try to make one. I'm like, I just got to look up a YouTube video on how to do it, and I'm like, yeah, let me just put all the things in the right place and pray when I hit the lever to turn this thing on, it actually works. Because there are a lot of times I will do that and it won't work, and I have no idea why. It's like the most advanced thing I've ever done with redstone would be that one time I built like an armory on that one world. The one world where we were on it long enough where we actually started collecting like mob heads, and I put like mob heads all around like the building. And it was remember, I think we built it out of like that dark deep slate stuff. And we the most advanced thing I've ever done with redstone, and it is a very simple ass thing, is I built an armory kind of building, and I had lined the top of it with this thing called daylight sensors. It's essential. It is a thing that you can build it and put it on something, and it will sense the day when the sun's out, and it will like emit a light. But you can actually like flip it to where it'll turn the light on when it does not sense sunlight. So you can essentially make like lamp posts that can turn themselves on when it gets dark. Because again, it gets dark, mobs start spawning, and such like that. But yeah, that is, and doing that only required me to just make the lamps, turn them on, and then just run a ring of redstone dust around them. and just every so often put down like a redstone power source, like one of those redstone torches. Like that's all it took. And that is the most complicated thing I've ever figured out on my own. And it took me like 3 real life days. That stuff is it's either complicated or I just don't get it, and it is probably a mixture of both. I can fully believe that I just don't have it. Okay, so the next thing we were going to talk about, and Mike, you may want to. Mike, I'll let you pop in on this because I'm going to let. I was going to say about actually talking about the Herobrine thing that was going on way back in them old days. Now I have my personal little Herobrine story on the Xbox way back in back when it was just wood days of Minecraft. But Mike actually knows a bit more about the actual creepypasta aspect of it than I do.
All right. So in case you guys didn't notice, I haven't been talking very much in this episode, and that's because I know absolutely nothing about Minecraft, with the exception of that it exists, and also the story or creepypasta of Herobrine. I'm a huge fan of creepypasta. I love lore. I love, folklore, I should say. I love scary stories. And, creepypastas are the internet equivalent to those. They're our modern day folklore. Now, Herobrine is a particular interesting story. So the story goes like this. Back in the past, this is way, way back in Minecraft, before Minecraft was like it is today. Minecraft in the early years, if I understand correctly, was a very sparsely populated place, vastly empty. And so, and it was also a time in which you the rendering couldn't render so far ahead. So it was almost like the world was constantly shrouded in like this fog or this mist. Probably not unlike a PlayStation or N64 era game. Now, players started to talk about meeting a certain dark figure in the game. Now, for context, this was before you could visit other players. You couldn't go to another player's world. So
yeah, I can tell you that the render thing is actually true. I do remember that. A good example would be the Silent Hill stuff. If you ever see you can only see so far ahead of you because there's like this foggy kind of mist thing. Like it's not like the fog of war you see in like them old RTS kind of games. It's like an actual kind of the rendering thing gave it like a real Silent Hill mist kind of thing. Like you could be. Once you start approaching, like, let's say a tree or something, you could, like, vaguely see the shape of it before you actually get so close, the rendering gets so close to actually for you to see it's a tree. Just, like, at this point of time in the game's history, it's obviously going to be a tree because there's nothing else other than trees. But yeah, okay, go ahead.
And so what would happen was you have this kind of world that's shrouded in mystery. So it's not a very detailed world. And what would happen is players would log into their world and they would see things that don't occur there naturally. So things that can only be made by a player, but they didn't make it. And so little things, subtle things like that would start happening. And so as a result, some players started to get on edge, and some players even started to claim to see something out of their peripheral vision in the game. And when they would turn to look, it wouldn't be nothing there. Now, some players eventually caught a glimpse of this shadowy figure. And somehow or another, I'm not sure where this part comes from, but somehow or another, people started to say that this figure, who became known as Herobrine, was either the brother or the deceased brother of the creator of Minecraft, Notch. And it got to the point where Notch himself had to come out and say, I don't have a brother. Well, I do have a half-brother, but I've never met him, but he's not in the game. But the Minecraft devs didn't kind of lean away from this. They actually played well into it. I'm not sure if this is still the case today, but For some time after this, after every update, at the end of the list of updates, there would be like a little line that would say Herobrine removed or removed Herobrine from the game. So for those who don't know, that's been a kind of like a speedy crash course on the lore surrounding Herobrine or Herobrine the creepypasta.
All right, yeah. So now I have had my own little Herobrine experience, quote unquote. Because the fun thing is, way back, like, because me and Hawk here, live in the deep south of America, where technology and such like that is like 10 years behind everyone else. The town, like, we lived in a small town, and so, like, part of this whole small town thing is it didn't have internet. Like, it was... The internet, it did not have no main internet service providers, no AT&T, no Verizon, no whatever. What happened after a while, I'm not even sure if we've had to have had internet to download Minecraft. What we had was this like third party kind of thing where some local company decided they were going to start paying rent to one of like a Verizon tower. And they just attached their own little kind of Wi-Fi to it. And so, like, it's like, hey, you can go to these guys and pay what turned out to be almost 3 times as much when AT&T finally did do something in the town we live in. For this internet that is... It exists. It's there. I mean, you can, like, go online and do some things. It was like dial-up speed. Is probably a good way to describe it. But it was like, so we couldn't really go online and do a bunch of web surfing and such like that. Now, all of that is to say that when I was having my own little Herobrine experience, I had no idea about this creepypasta stuff. The friend of ours who came by and introduced us into Minecraft, he actually had access to like a better internet than us, so he spent more time on it. He was aware. I actually don't know, because he likes to mess with us, especially me. He loves to mess with me, and so like I don't know if what he because he brought this over, told us like, oh hey, there's this thing you can do in your world to summon this NPC, and you're supposed to, because part of the Herobrine lore is you're supposed to build. I think it was you're supposed to you can like go around mining. You mine you some gold ore, you can smelt it into a gold bar. You can take 9 gold bars and craft them into a gold block. And so you're supposed to, I want to say it was you stack 2 gold blocks on top of each other, and then you have to go into this dimension the game has called the Nether. Essentially, it's hell. That's just it essentially is Minecraft's version of hell. You go in there, and instead of dirt, it has this block called netherrack. And the unique trait for netherrack is that if you have like one of those flint and tinder kind of tool to start a fire, you can light any side of you can light the top of netherrack, and the netherrack will like catch fire, and it will like burn forever, as long like you have to manually put the fire out, or it'll just sit there and burn until the block's removed. And so you need 2 gold blocks stacked on top of each other, and then you need to put a block of netherrack on top of that, and then you need to light it. And supposedly it's like the words are like, you shouldn't have done that, or like, I can't remember what the text was, but apparently it was something. And God, I don't know if I'm just misremembering it, but I could have swore we did it, and I could have swore like the text popped up in the world. Maybe way back then it was just like a funny little like inside joke with the early crew of Mojang. But anyways, so we do this. Ooh, the spooky text showed up. And we're like, okay, whatever. We keep playing and such like that. I want to say, if I'm remembering right, I think we had only the one Xbox, and whenever me and Honk would play together, we would like split screen it. And there would be like times like, you know what, I want to play Minecraft. She doesn't feel like it. I'll play Minecraft by myself. I remember like I was gonna make me like a hard world, a hard like difficulty hard world, and I distinctly remember the world because I got so lucky. You spawn into the world, drops you there, and I'm looking around and I happen to spawn next to this like stone mountain, and it had like coal, which, early into the game, you don't want to be attacked by mobs. Mobs spawn when it gets dark. And like coal is a thing you need to make torches. And so like spawning right next to coal, right at world spawn, huge bonus. OMG, I'm safe for days now. The panic of trying to get crap done so you can have somewhere to literally hide in and survive the night, gone. I don't have to worry about this. So what I essentially do is I run off, get some trees, make me pickaxes, mine the coal, and I decide, you know what? I'm not even going to mess with the house. I'm not going to screw the house. I have a mountain right here. I'm just going to burrow into the mountain. I'm going dwarf mode here. So I tunnel into the mountain a little bit, just a few blocks in so I can mine me a nice little room spot and such. Now, this is the same profile, the same Xbox and such. We did the whole summon Herobrine thing, but it is a different world. We did the world we did it on was one we all played on with. Now, I logged off, and I don't know. I think it was like a few days before I got back onto it. This is where crap got creepy to me. And this is like way back before any kind of no villages or anything like that. It's you spawn you a world. You're gonna have you a world with a bunch of trees in it and some stone. That's it. That's all you get. This is year one Minecraft we talking here. But anyways, I spawn back in. I load up the world. I pop back into my little inside mountain home. Okay, yay. I'm about to go out and see. I need some more wood. I'm going to go out and do this. I'm going to do some stuff. I step outside of my mountain, my little mountain cave out into the wild. And outside of my door is like 5 or 6 pieces of wood plank floating in the air. Now, for clarity's sake, when I say floating in the air isn't weird. There's literally only 2 things are affected by 2 blocks are affected by gravity, and it is sand and gravel. If you were to put you can put let's say 4 blocks of you put 4 blocks of dirt stacked into the air. You can put sand or gravel on top of the 4th block of dirt. You can knock out the first 2 blocks of dirt. The other 2 blocks of dirt and the 3rd block of sand will stay in the air. They're like gravity does not affect dirt. Knock out the 3rd block of dirt, still fine. You knock out the 4th block of dirt, the sand will fall. That's just I don't know why they wanted to make sand and gravel actual affected by gravity, whatever, and it has been like that to this day. So like the idea that there are wooden planks just floating in the air, the floating part's not the weird part. The weird part is that, one, they got up there. You can't just place things in the air. You have to you have to attach things to each other. And wood planks don't spawn naturally. You have to acquire some wood from a tree, and then you have to craft the planks. And I was like, I saw this and I was like, I went to Honk and I was like, babe, were you playing on my world? She's like, no, I just play the world we both play. And I was like, you sure? Yeah, you sure? Yes. You're really sure? Yes. Why? And I'm like, because I didn't do this stuff. And she's looking at us like, you didn't do that? I'm like, no. And we were both kind of like weirded out. And I was like, is that Herobrine thing actually real? Hold on, this is strange. What? Hold up. And because casually like just removed the wooden planks. They popped into my inventory, and that for all intents and purposes, it was normal blocks. But yeah, that was a pretty wild experience. I don't think I ever had any other kind of weirdness other than that one thing. I want to say, I think actually I may have kind of chickened out a little bit and kind of deleted the world after a day or two. But I don't think I ever saw anybody actually on there. I do remember reading at one point that this was like something years ago that got like announced, confirmed, leaked, kind of a thing. It was like oh really kind of a move, but like I want to say it got released somehow, either on purpose or it got leaked out by accident. But that like it turns out like Mojang, the studio that made Minecraft, actually has the ability to just join any random person's world. And it is something that they have done in the past. Like I'm going to mark this whole statement as theory because I can't remember where exactly I saw it. I remember seeing it, but internet, so you can't really be sure if it's just factual or not. So I'm just going to say this is theory. But I do remember seeing people say like, "Oh, my Mojang's been like they've had the ability to just like because like even today." You load into Minecraft. Okay, yeah, you're playing a world. If someone joins your world, it tells you. There's like text that pops up. So and so just joined your world. But apparently, if a Mojang developer guy decides to stealth join the world, it doesn't tell you. He can pop into your world. He has complete control like any other player would. He can make things. He can craft things and such like that. And they can do it and just blink out of the world. And not like it won't notify the player. And so like when this was being said, people are like, wait, is this where all these people were saying they were seeing Herobrine now? Because it's like you were saying earlier, Mike, with the whole rendering thing, you can kind of see like figures and shapes in the fog, but you can't tell what it is. That could have actually have been a Mojang developer, just kind of because it was like a thing where they were like it was like a form of like bug testing or something like that. They're just popping into other people's worlds just to actually see if the functions are functioning and such like that, and they have to run around and actually like interact with the world. And sometimes I guess they got caught. I guess they got spotted and such like that. But yeah, that was I wish I could remember where I've seen that, but I remember like when that was being said and being posted around, probably on Twitter, that people were like, oh, okay, this actually kind of gives some credence back to that Herobrine stuff, because that was like a thing was because like even on X, like it was real hard for anyone on Xbox to do anything about it, because this is like before Twitch was a thing, so there sure as crap wasn't any kind of like Xbox record this or whatever. So like if you've had to have people in the room with you who happen to see the same thing you do, but even then, you're like, this is before everybody had a smartphone too. There were a lot of people who still had flip phones back then, and it's not like you can just whip out the phone and start recording your TV or something. So like any kind of like pictures or whatever had to come from like the PC versions of Minecraft, and anything PC related is much easier to like manipulate through mods and hacks and such. So people have always kind of like thrown like shade on whether or not, oh yeah, you're the only person in the world and there's some guy standing on the other side of that river. Yeah, we all see it, but you sure maybe that's just somebody that you like coded to say Herobrine or something like that. Maybe you put in a little like mod or whatever that just removes player names and you're just trying to fake some stuff. Well, yeah, that Herobrine stuff was pretty wild. I remember being like just on edge playing that world. I'm pretty sure I'd like deleted it because I just didn't. I could swear I would feel like unsafe or something. Like at any point I'm about to just get attacked by somebody running around in the dang caves with me. Oh, you remember? Do you remember any of that, Honkflap?
There we go. My audio wasn't coming in. Okay, sorry. I'm not really sorry. I flipped my mic up because I wanted to stealth eat a piece of chocolate. So I'm not really sorry because I had a piece of dark chocolate while you were talking. Anywho,
Worth it.
I would like yeah, it was definitely worth it. I love dark chocolate. I'm a woman, sue me. Chocolate's my thing. So anyway, if I remember correctly, the little ritual to summon Herobrine involved a cake as well. I believe there was a cake that you had to put on top of the gold block. And
Yeah, I
also,
remember the cake thing too. Yeah.
and I do remember the story about the devs popping in and out. That was something from Reddit. And it was supposed to be like some kind of early stability testing or something like that. And they weren't supposed to be seen, but sometimes people would see them, and that gave rise to the story of Herobrine. And then lastly, when it came to recording things or whatever, it wasn't just a matter of flip phones. This was 2012 when Minecraft came out. And at that time, if you recall, I had purchased us both top of the line phones, which were Blackberries. You remember the Blackberries?
Oh yeah, I remember the Blackberries.
They had every feature that phones could have in 2012, and a camera was not one of them.
Yeah.
This was the same era where like the big selling point to this phone that looked like almost like a USB stick or something. I can't remember what it was called, but it was the something chocolate, was that you could turn it on and it would identify songs that were playing. And I remember all the kids at the grocery store where I was the night manager had those things. I don't know why, but they did. But that was like the height of technology at that time.
Oh yeah. Also, as far as like another like aspect of this is like being like okay, the developers are like testing things and are being seen by other people. Now this is also way before your Minecraft appearance was a thing. Because like today you got the marketplace, you can make your character look like whatever from the marketplace. You can buy a skin pack in Java or on the PC. You can like you can just go to like who knows how many websites and be like, hey, that's all nothing but Minecraft skins people have made and such. You can like download them, add them to your character. This is way before any of that. This predates Alex, the lady counterpart to Steve. If you were going to play Minecraft, you're Steve. There's no two ways around this. You are Steve. And so like
Hang on.
that's like no.
No, hang on. You're forgetting. There were three Steves. There was regular Steve. There was Tuxedo Steve. And then there was a black version of Steve in tennis whites called Athletic Steve.
Now, wasn't that like part of like the first like skin pack that came out?
Well, it was about the time that we were playing with Alan and his brother Josh, because Josh would run around as Tuxedo Steve and throw roses everywhere for whatever reason.
Okay, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
that was a thing.
Okay. Maybe I'm just misremembering that detail then. But yeah. Oh man. But yeah, that was that whole Herobrine stuff was freaking wild, especially for the that was a whole freaking thing though. And it is funny how you can come across stuff like a creepypasta and not be aware it's a whole creepypasta. And when you do it like that way, it hits completely different. I don't know if we told you this before, Mike. I want to derail from the Minecraft stuff for a moment, but you know the whole Ben Drowned creepypasta thing we came across that and had absolutely no idea it was a creepypasta.
Yeah.
That whole, yeah, there's like a website, like not on the creepypasta website, but it was like somewhere else where like someone essentially like how the creepypasta is written. It's like a letter of this one guy who just happened to find the old bootleg Majora's Mask Nintendo 64 cartridge at some creepy guy's yard sale. And he was like, it would be like a bunch of text, like reading the story. And then this guy's like saying, and then he'd be like, I've rigged this really convoluted setup because I really wanted to record myself playing this game for posterity's sake. And this is the weirdest stuff I've ever seen. This game is really broken. This game must be, this cartridge must have suffered some damage. I've never seen a game do stuff like this. But I'm glad I caught it. I can upload it here to show everybody who's reading this. And it like he puts in the stuff. And it's like, I had no idea of creepypastas. And like, I had no idea that was a thing even. I didn't know creepypastas existed. I had no idea there was a whole culture of like creepy stories that people would just love to tell each other. And so I actually, I just stumbled upon this whole story across the internet, and I'm like watching this stuff, and I'm like, oh, I was like reading this stuff because this guy's like having these dreams about the freaking game that sound horrific, and this dude's like, oh, this is so weird, all this stuff is happening, and I'm like, bro, this guy's having a mental breakdown. Holy crap. Bro is going real hard on needs to cut back on his college courses, man. He ain't doing too hot. And then he puts in the like the first video of him recording all the insane stuff happening, and I see it and I'm just like, oh. Hearing like the music that like, cause like Majora's Mask was my first Legend of Zelda game, and so like it has like a special place to me. And so, like, I often credit my love of music and stuff to Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. And so, like, hearing how that music is so, like, jangled and messed up and, like, sometimes played backwards or, like, 5 times faster than it should actually be doing when crap is happening and he's trying to run away from it and such. I like it was really well done. God, I could feel my heart like trying to race just remembering it. God, that stuff was. I'm gonna have to look up those videos again just to enjoy myself again in a terrible fashion.
Yeah, yeah. The early world of creepypastas was something special, something to be something that deserves to be commented on. On the one hand, you know, in the mid 2000s, early teens, you know, it was a vastly different cultural landscape. You know, on the one hand, a lot of the creepypastas were more believable. And on the other hand, they were still very much true to their form. So, for those who are unfamiliar with this, creepypastas, the very name creepypastas are derived from copypasta, which is a block of text that's copied and pasted around. And it's called creepypasta because, well, the text is creepy. And so, traditionally speaking, these stories were passed around as blocks of text. And so, you didn't really have any context to go with. You didn't really know if this person was making it up, if they were telling their own story, if this was somebody else's story. So it was a bit different. And a lot of the creepypastas I mentioned were much more grounded in reality. Like you had things, for example, like Gary's Radicate. Or you had things like... what's another good example? Lavender Town Syndrome. That's my personal favorite. Lavender Town Syndrome. And you had things like Dead Bart or Squidward's Suicide or Suicide Mouse.avi. You know, much more...
Yep, the Mickey Mouse one.
Yeah, much more realistic, much more original, much more fresh, I would say. I mean, as time progressed, creepypastas kind of degenerated into just a bunch of tropes being used over again, and also a lot of it just became shit posting. Like, people knew it was bad and they tried to make it as bad as possible. I mean, and there's merit to that. I mean, some shit posters or troll posters are enjoyable. Like, I especially love the stuff by Dave the Useless. He's a YouTuber who covers a lot of really bad, maybe he writes them, I don't know, creepy pastas. And also Yuri Bren, one of my favorite YouTubers, he also does this as well. But he only covers it. He doesn't write anything, to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, it's something to be lamented on the passing of that era. It was, even to this day, every October, I love going back and revisiting some of my favorite creepypastas. And some of my favorite creepypastas are very much, I would say, on the same level as, traditional folklore. Traditional Japanese ghost stories or ghost stories from North Carolina. But without getting too far into that, that's a story for a different day.
Yeah, I'm just over here
I'd just
listening
like
to you
to
list
chime
off
in
all
that
these creepypastas, and I'm just like, I don't know any of these things. I've heard of Lavender
yes,
Town, but like the only,
yeah, you know Lavender Town, yeah.
yeah,
My favorite creepypasta is the Russian sleep experiment.
yeah,
That one
that's
was
like the
scary.
only that's like the only. I was gonna say like the three I know. No, I know Lavender Town is like a Pokemon one, and it's something to do about ghosts. But that's like a vague thing. That's like the epitome of my knowledge involved in that. But like the three, I only like know three, and it's the Ben Drowned, a rough knowledge of the Hero Bride one, and definitely the Russian sleep experiment. Now I will totally. This is how I like to do things. Is that I will if I'm going to like try to like if I'm going to like read something like that, I want to go in as much as I can, fully believing that this is real because it just makes it better to me. Like the spooky thing's a lot more spookier when when it's actually like real. And so, of course I know it's not real, but it's let me fool myself so I can enjoy this a little bit more, kind of a deal. But
Well,
yeah, now the Russian
well,
sleep experiment. I remember there was like a video. I think we watched it where someone's like
yeah.
narrating the creepypasta, and he's putting like
Mhm.
images of these like horrendously like I can't even I can't say mutilated because they're not that far off. They haven't gone that hard in the pictures, but they are definitely like disfigured and such like that. And it kind of like gives credence to the whole idea that this was an actual like real thing that happened and such. And I remember that. I think that was like part of the reason why I remember this because I even to this day right now I'm remembering one of the faces as I'm talking about this. Like that.
Well, what
That's
you
just ingrained in me right now.
what you were saying about wanting to kind of like go into it believing it to make it scarier, that's actually something in literature. It's called a suspension of disbelief. And it's what uh fans of horror novels like of Stephen King, there's a sort of an unspoken contract between writer and reader there, where the reader comes in with the willingness to suspend disbelief, and then the author pushes that to a point, but not so far as to break it. So, like, if you look at any of Stephen King's novels, like take Carrie, for instance, is it wild to think that some awkward teenage girl had telekinesis and all of these dreadful things happened? Yeah, of course that's probably not real, but she wasn't portrayed like she didn't show up at the prom and turn into like a demon or and wreak havoc on the whole world, because that'd just be stupid at that point, right? But the idea about her uh losing it and destroying the little auditorium and her classmates and things kind of makes sense in the story if you have that suspension of disbelief. And that's very much what a creepypasta reader would have going into it. It's no fun at all if you're just going to nitpick it. What's even the point of it if you're just going to nitpick it?
You're telling me this guy in the sleep experiment actually opened up his own stomach, pulled out his own insides, and were playing with them like he was trying to make a roadmap for cars? I don't believe that. This is hogwash.
Citation, please.
Honestly, man, that's
Make
what,
sure it didn't happen, man.
and honestly, that's honestly why I really love the Y-Files so much, because every time the host AJ presents a story or a conspiracy theory, he will sell the story like he believes it. Like he will come in and he will sell it like he 100% believes it, and he'll tell you all these interesting things, or this shit that will suck you in, that will really grab you by the collar of your shirt and really get you hooked. And at the end, once he's done telling the story, he'll then ask, it's a great story about how much is true, and then he'll cut away what bullshit he can cut away, and he'll admit what can't be cut away. And that's one of the reasons why I really like it, and because I think that's a great approach to such a story. And if you guys are really into this type of story, those classic creepypastas, I'm mostly a fan of the video game and lost episode creepypasta genres, but there are a couple outside of those that I really do enjoy. First, I would highly recommend would be Mr. Widemouth. If you've ever read that one, Mr. Widemouth he's an imaginary friend with a dark secret. I won't spoil it for you. But what really makes it so unique is he kind of looks Furby-like, if you remember the Furbies. And it's a damn good story. It is a damn good story. Secondly, of course, would be the original Slenderman mythos.
Oh yeah.
And
Possible podcast episodes going over creepypastas.
oh yeah, definitely. This coming October, definitely gonna be doing that. And also, I would say Ted the Caver. Some have argued that it may in fact be the original creepypasta.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So,
well, Ducko and I are super into the successors of creepypastas, which are ARGs. We really like a good ARG.
Although I just realized something, we never closed out the whole podcast thing. We probably should do that. Because in all fairness, that was all the stuff I kind of planned on going over this episode. Is there more stuff about Minecraft? Of course, it's freaking Minecraft. 15 dang years. Let's go. There's still a time we could talk about how we built a whole religion in Minecraft, and then we're planning to go to war with some friends over that whole thing. The Duck Wars, man. That was a thing.
Coming up on a future episode of Pond Pals. We are definitely going to be covering the Duck Wars, and I will have you know I was its original architect with my duck shrines.
Yep, she built some duck shrines, and one of our other friends saw that and started to be the edgelord he was at the time, decided that, you know what, maybe he'll build some duck shrines. And instead of being that stuff, he's going to build them to make them more like other things. And then, me being me, decided, you know what, let's just elevate this whole thing. And then we had a whole freaking war ready to go. But yeah, that can be on another episode. Including like the time how I saw this goose here save a whole village from a pillager attack by fighting off 6 or 7 pillagers with a freaking apple. Swords? Nah, just give her an apple. She will completely mog a whole group of guys with it.
Well, I was frustrated, okay?
We were all frustrated. Crap went so south in that.
Okay, but you know what? That's too... Mike's just got to hear that story. Go ahead and tell Mike that story real quick.
Oh, what, the apple one?
Apple story, yeah.
Okay,
Because
so
I
this
want
is
to give him my perspective. After you tell it,
okay.
I'm going to
Yeah,
give my perspective.
the apple was never like in my long list of itemized things, anyways. Anyways,
Right.
the apple story. All right, Apple Story, and then we can wrap it. But so the Apple Story. This is years later into Minecraft. This is like back when when the servers were out, and you could like be like, hey, I want to pay a few dollars a month, and me and a few other friends can be on this world. Like the thing I was explaining earlier, where like someone had to quote unquote host the world, and someone else can join it. The server fixed that. The server is hosting the world. So, like, while, let's say, I'm the guy who's paying the few dollars for it, I don't have to be on for it to work. The world is always on, it's always running, and Honk can jump in whenever she wants. One of our other friends can jump in whenever they want. That kind of fun bit. So, anyways, we had a server world with one of our friends, a guy named Cody at the time, and he was actually like very active in the world, and like between the three of us we actually built this like very large this is also like when the villagers were out and such. We built a bunch of we found this tiny little village and decided to just make it like a really large village, and so we started building extra buildings, made more professions for the villagers to take and such so they can be useful, started breeding the villagers and such like that. And yes, you just breed villagers by like throwing carrots or potato or bread at them, because I don't know what kind of mechanics this is. It's weird, but and so we had this whole thing. Now a different mechanic of this is in the update where they made this whole villagers and they're able to get trades and everything like that a thing. They put in this new mob called a pillager. These guys are essentially villagers who went bad. Their skin turns gray, and they have like outposts. They have like these towers that they hang out in, and if you find like one of their roving bands that wander around and you fight them and you kill them, there's like one guy who always has a flag. You kill him. Whoever kills him gets a debuff. The debuff doesn't like hurt you in any way, doesn't make you have less health, nothing like that. It's just a thing to where as long as this debuff is on, if you go into an established village, it starts a pillager raid. Essentially, this means pillagers are going to literally just attack this village in mass, and you have to help defend it.
It's a wave defense mechanic. There are like 3 to 5 waves depending on the difficulty level.
Yeah. And so what happened was we had a raid thing happen, and while this was a complete accident, because this debuff can happen, and it will happen for like, it will stay on for like over an hour. Like, you plenty of time for you to be just out and about doing your thing in the wild. You get attacked by one of these guys, you defend yourself, you get the debuff, whatever, I'll just tell one of the other people to bring me some milk so I can drink it and cure myself of this debuff before I head into town. And like 40 minutes later, you make it to town and completely forgot you had the debuff. And next thing you know, your home base you've put so much time and effort into is now at jeopardy. And so this happens. We're losing our shit because it's like, you hear like the raid like horn being blown, and then you see the bar filling up, and like, oh god, they're coming. We only have so little time to prepare defenses, and we're like trying to like, you can like hit like a bell that makes sure every village has like a bell somewhere. You can beat the crap out of the bell, and it makes like a ringing noise, and it makes the villagers panic, and they all run into their houses, supposedly, because of how bad their AI is. That all of them make it into their house, and they ain't gonna survive this raid. But anyways, like, you ring the bell, they all run inside, and so essentially what we were doing was we're running around trying to like put blocks in front of their doors so pillagers can't bust in and kill them. And then you lose your master trader of whatever profession and such like that. So we're doing that, and then it's like, okay, we saved who we can. We gotta start fighting these guys. And so there's like these guys, and we weren't preparing for this. This was a complete accident. So we're like, yeah, my iron armor I have on, while it's decent, it ain't in the best of conditions. A lot of my stuff is close to breaking. Let's hope it holds through. The fight happens, the waves keep coming and such like that. And what happens is we start dying. Now, because this is our home village, the upside is when we die, we spawn in the beds in our respective houses. No problem. The issue is when you die, you drop all your inventory. All the stuff you have in your pockets, all the stuff you're wearing gets dropped. So it's like you die, you spawn back in your house, all of your gear to fight the pillagers is wherever you died. So now you have to run from your house to wherever you died, where there's a bunch of pillagers between you and there. And so we keep trying to do this. We keep dying. We keep trying to recover our stuff. We keep dying some more. And just like at one point, I remember me and our friend Cody were like trying to run. We were running into this freaking house because we got hit by some pillagers and we were running away from them. And we like ran in there to try to like hide and like recover our health and such. And then we're seeing like a bunch of them like start running like up and down the road in front of the house. And we could hear like Honkflaps like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "We're hiding." He's like, "Hiding's not going to kill these guys. What are you doing?" Like, "We can't kill anybody. We're almost dead." She's like, "So? What do you mean, so?" It's like, "So you'll die and pop back in your bed. Who cares?" And we're like, I mean, you're not wrong, but I want to die. And she's like, "Oh my god, you boys." And we're like, "What the crap? What is she going on about?" And we see like 5 or 6 of these pillagers guys run past our door again. And then we see right behind them comes her swinging her hand with an apple inside in her hand. And she's just beating these guys to death. And she like clocks one on the head enough times to kill him. And then the other ones like turn around to start like fighting her. And she's just standing there taking it all. No gear on. She has no armor or anything. She's just standing there beating down 5 guys with a freaking apple and actually does it.
I got really lucky.
Yeah, like hindsight. Yeah, you like those guys were missing you too many freaking times with those crossbows. 100%. Like, yeah,
they missed me a lot.
RN Jesus came down and to our village that day, but still, just the building we were in had like glass walls and such, so we got like front row seats to watch someone else just completely destroy a group of pillagers who were out armored, outgunned this one person, and still got their asses handed to them. Oh my god, that is like a legendary moment right there.
The apple was only because that was the only thing in the chest in the house I had respawned into after dying. There was just an apple. And so I carried an apple. That's why. Yeah. Apples are not particularly special in Minecraft.
No, it's just food. It's like beating somebody with a stick of bread or something. It's just a food item.
But that was my moment of glory. I was just frustrated because we had all died like a dozen times, and like Jack and Cody were getting, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. They were getting antsy, like they'd failed so many times they couldn't fail anymore. But staying in the house isn't going to solve the raid, and we can't move forward until the raid is solved. So I was like, "Oh, for God's sake!" Just figured I'd do it, so I did it.
Me and him hiding in the house, trying to like come up with some kind of plan to to survive long enough to get to our stuff. Meanwhile, she's just out here just beating everybody with an apple.
So that's our great Minecraft story. That was probably the funniest thing we've ever done.
I can definitely say you guys probably have the most storied history with Minecraft than any other couple I've met in my life.
Well, we play a lot of it. We enjoy it. And it's one of those things, Ducky and I are gamers and we like games we can co-op. We play a lot of games that we can co-op. And Minecraft is certainly an OG in that genre. So it's kind of our bonding thing that we do together. We met. We met playing online co-op in Borderlands. So, that was like our early days. So, I mean, that's just what we do. We're both gamers, so. Any hoozle.
But yeah, that'll probably be all the stuff we'll talk about in this particular episode of the podcast. And there'll be more Minecraft-based ones because there's still more stories like Duck Wars. We could talk about the time we built a whole village out of... we did like a little environmental lore thing. We built a whole village to give the world a reason as to why there are like drowned zombies as like some sort of weird... testament to some ocean god kind of a thing. But yeah, we enjoy Minecraft. I enjoy it to a degree. I have a love-hate relationship with Minecraft. And in another episode, you'll hear my hate.
Hang on. I've got to tell Mike this one thing. This very same world that we're talking about where the Apple story happened, for reasons, and I don't know why, but the three of us built an enormous penis out of pink glass.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember because it was out of glass, and then me and Cody decided we were going to make it even worse, and we got to the top of it, and you can make like an iron bucket to carry like water and such in, and you can dump water like onto stuff and it'll like flow like a river. But you can do the same thing to lava in this game. So we got to the top of the glass penis, and we dumped a bucket of lava out. And so it was a glass penis that was full of lava and pouring lava out. Like, man, this is the most disease-ridden thing that has ever walked this planet.
But yes, we did have a giant penis in our world. So that was mature.
So
yeah. Well, we would have gone with milk, but you can't do it with milk. You can't make a river with milk.
Well, yes, true.
I mean, I was a bit surprised to hear about that because you two don't seem like the type to dick around in Minecraft.
Well, that actually started from a previous world that we had. I was trying to make a village of priests and make like an ancient totem thing for them to be like their center of focus, and I couldn't get the shape I was going for right, and eventually it just turned into a penis, and so I was like, oh, it's the order of the phallus. And so for a while there we just were building penises. just doing it. So anyway. Anywho, well, that's it for us, and my darling dear husband will definitely be back with more Minecraft stories in another episode. We got loads. And since he is our gaming guy, I imagine y'all are in for some Borderlands stories as well. And who knows what else? Who knows what he's got up his sleeve?
Oh yeah. There will be tons of things to talk about. Always. All the time.
Because we're yappers. And we yap. And we're glad to yap with you, bestie.
Well, there's no other people, no other waterfowl I would rather honk around with than you lovely goose and duck. You lovely goose and duck. Yep. So,
right back at you, bestie. It's a pleasure every week.
All right, sure. Well, that will be the end of Pon Pal Podcast Episode 2. Then we'll see all of you folk next time. Peace out.